Welcome to Parenting Unscripted. I am your host, Katie Collett. A big thank you to Norfolk Public Schools for sponsoring this episode. Let me tell you what, I am so pumped for this episode because I give so much credit to the social media algorithm. It brought this wonderful woman into my life, Ms. Brianna Platt. Bree, thank you so much for being here today.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me this morning.
Of course. So Bree is the proud owner of the newly opened Little Bean Play Cafe in Chesapeake. We're going to talk all about that in a minute, but also listen to this. She has a master's degree in education, is a board certified behavior analyst, and is a licensed behavior analyst. What better guest could we possibly have on Parenting Unscripted than all of that combined into one wonderful human? So welcome again. I'm so happy that you're here. I have to say, I reached out to Bree and I was like, hey, you've never met me in person. Would you like to be on this show? How did that feel when you got that message?
I was very nervous, but definitely still excited for the experience because once in a lifetime for me. So of course it was an easy yes.
I'm so glad you said yes. Just, I saw your stuff on social media and I was like, this is somebody that I want to know. And this is somebody that I want other parents to get to know as well. So again, I'm so appreciative that you're here. Can you tell our guests, our viewers, I should say, a little bit about you and your family?
Of course. So my name is Brianna. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I'm just your average Joe, honestly. I was, I would say born and raised in Hampton Roads, but I am a military brat. So I was kind of raised a little bit everywhere, but for the most part, I am from Hampton Roads. I met my husband in Hampton Roads, and we had our daughter in Hampton Roads. So Hampton Roads through and through.
Absolutely.
But I'm just a mom. I'm just a wife that had a dream and wanted to make it happen. So here we are.
What made you decide that you wanted to be a behavior analyst?
Honestly, that just kind of came on a whim one day. I was my first job, I was working at Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, yeah. Bless you.
Yes.
Instant sainthood.
Oh, yes. So I was working at Chuck E. Cheese, and a friend of mine at the time, she was already working in the field, and she just thought, I would do well with it because, I've always worked with kids. And so I just kind of jumped into it. And then from there, I just continued going to school. I changed actually my major at the time because I had no clue that the field of ABA even existed. So changed my major and I went headfirst into it. So, something that kind of just happened on a whim really did. It ended up being one of the best things that happened to me for sure.
That's great. And I love how you're able to just implement that into your growing new business. Let's talk about having a new baby. Now, I know that she's 2.
Yes.
But that's still new.
Yeah. Very new.
What is it like having a 2-year-old and then trying to open a new business?
Every day is an adventure, and every day is very different. It's been a journey with every phase of her life, every phase of my life for the past couple years, and just taking it as it comes, really. That's when having a village does really come into role. But it's been a challenge, but I wouldn't change it for the world. It's been amazing.
As you were going through the planning to create Little Bean Play Cafe and to really make that come to life, how did you manage it all? Did friends and family step in? And if so, in what way were they able to help you?
Honestly, they stepped in the biggest way that, I could ever imagine. Yeah. Being a new mom, I suffered very badly from postpartum anxiety. And so it was very difficult for me to trust people with my daughter.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, even when it came to family, in your mind, they're going to be okay. They're with family, but it's definitely hard when you're not just a first time mom, but just any mom.
Right.
So they stepped up in the biggest way possible, making sure that she was taken care of so that I could really dive headfirst into my dream without having to, put her into childcare or have to worry about the finances that come with that, of course. So they stepped up in the biggest way possible, making sure that she is taken care of first and foremost so that I can make sure that, Little Bean is able to get off the ground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What a blessing to have friends and family who
Definitely.
know you so well and who are able to really step in to help when you need it most and to just get you through. And it is, it is true when you first have a baby, you're like, well, how can I possibly let somebody else kind of step into that role and even help? Because you're like, I know my baby best. How are you going to be able to help properly with the baby? So I am glad that you had people there that you could trust. How did the idea for Little Bean Play Cafe come around?
I will say it's not my idea. I can't take credit for it all. There's other play cafes around the world, but I definitely saw a need for it here in my community. Being located in the Western Branch area of Chesapeake, there wasn't much for me and my little one to do. Getting out of the house, like I said, with postpartum anxiety, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard getting out of the house. The world is scary. You don't know what you don't know. But just kind of jumping into it and,
Yeah. I don't mean to interrupt, but I do want to jump in because I know a lot of people are used to the phrase postpartum depression, and that is different than postpartum anxiety. I think that this would be, if you're willing to share, a really great learning moment for our viewers to understand what postpartum anxiety was like for you and your feelings of just trying to get ready to get out the door.
Yeah. Like you said, I can only speak from my own experiences, and it's hard to explain it to somebody who doesn't, who didn't go through it firsthand. And I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. It's scary because in your mind that they're fine. Everything is fine. It's just, the world is a scary place, and it just gets scarier by the day. So, and you can only control so much, but even no matter how much you try to convince yourself, like, oh, everything is going to be fine. I can take a moment for myself and she'll be okay.
Right.
Still in the back of your mind, there's always that, well, what if this happens? So, what if it's always the weirdest case scenarios, but they pop up in your mind.
Right, right. And it's just kind of overwhelming to you the whole time.
Yes, it is. Wow. It was.
Well, again, thank you for sharing that with everyone. I think it's such a great learning moment. When we get back from the other side of the break, we're really going to dive into Little Bean Play Cafe and what a play cafe means for not only the kids, but for the parents. So stick with us, everyone. We are going to be right back with Brianna Platt to talk more about this really great venture of hers that just opened. Stay tuned.
Whether you're already working in education or aspiring to, then say yes to NPS. Norfolk Public Schools are currently hiring in the following positions. NPS offers the highest salaries and sign-on bonuses in Hampton Roads, plus a work lifestyle you'll love. Say yes to NPS.
Welcome back to Parenting Unscripted. I am your host, Katie Collett, joined by the wonderful Brianna Platt, who is a behavior analyst, a mom, and a brand new entrepreneur. So I really wanted Bri to come on to talk about Little Bean Play Cafe that just opened. What are some things that people can expect when they go inside Little Bean Play Cafe?
They can expect a little bit of everything. So, of course, we are a full coffee shop. So you'll have a little bit for the adults, come in, grab a cup of coffee and relax. But then on the play side, we have enough for different ages. We have 0 to 5 is what we cater to. So you'll see different toys and play environments to not only cater to different ages, but also different abilities. So we definitely kept in mind making sure that our equipment is accessible for little ones that are in wheelchairs or, different things like that, just to make sure that play is accessible for everybody.
When the kids come in and they're ready to play, what process do the parents have to go through to make sure that they can do that safely?
So we really did the most to make sure that the process is seamless as possible. So when you're purchasing your tickets online, you're already knocking out your waiver when you're purchasing your tickets. When you come into our store, you do a walk-in. You just have to come in, fill out a waiver, of course, and then just purchase your play passes. And from there, you just get settled in, get comfortable, and make yourself at home.
That's so great. What are some of the play areas? What are they like for the kids? And why don't we start with the youngest? What can they expect in their play area?
So we do have a dedicated play space for ages 1 and under to make sure, they're staying safe and they're still having a good time while they're there as well. Yeah. So we do have a soft play area for them with different engaging toys, mirrors, walkers, a ball pit. To make sure that they're having a good time too, while also staying safe while they're playing. Can
I just tell you though, when I hear you say ball pit, that was one of my son's most favorite gifts when he was about 1. His great grandfather sent this ball pit from Boston, and it was just the kids love it. What is it about that?
I don't know what it is, but they love a good ball pit. My daughter got her first ball pit when she turned 1, and it's been a hit in our house.
Yeah, they are nonstop
Yes.
moving through those things. And you just want to keep filling it with more and more of the balls so they can just run through.
Right.
And oh my gosh, it's so great. But I love that that's in that particular play area.
Yes.
What can some of the older kids expect?
So we do also have a lot of dramatic play spaces. So we do have 4 dramatic play areas that we rotate seasonally. We do different themes. We can also have them hosted and sponsored by different local businesses.
Oh, okay.
So those will rotate to keep the kids engaged, keep them busy, keep them guessing.
Which is always good.
Yes. And then we do also have a small jungle gym climbing structure for our slightly older kiddos. And then we have a sensory area for our little ones that are still, exploring their senses, or like I said, our kiddos that just are, seeking different sensory toys, or even in a wheelchair, they can, they still have access to all of those toys as well. So we do have a little bit for everybody.
What did you have to think about when you were deciding to create each play space? And did you use a bit of your education degree and a splash of your behavioral analyst certifications to kind of mold everything, I should say, into kind of a perfect play space?
Yeah, so I would definitely say that, my background does play a role in how the space is laid out overall. When I was trying to pick out what was in the play space, I really took into consideration my own little one, because she is right in that range of exploration and learning and being, knee deep in play all day. So really anything that she was interested in, I knew that most little ones would probably be interested in as well. But also, like I said, I wanted to keep in mind different abilities to make sure that I was catering to not only different ages, but different abilities when I was, picking out those different toys as well. Yeah. So I would definitely say education played a role when designing the play space.
And I saw on your Instagram page, which is so great, by the way, it's so informative for everything that you have there, that you said it is a Montessori-based play. Why did you decide to go that route?
Yeah, so I would definitely say Montessori inspired. Montessori is a whole beast.
Yes.
But really at the thick of Montessori play is it being child-led. And I mean, what better way to do that than making sure that the toys that we pick out are going to be accessible to little ones?
Yes.
We wanted to make sure that while the kids are in the play space, they don't necessarily have an adult having to help them play. We wanted to make sure that everything was at eye level for the little ones so that they could easily just walk up and play with whatever they wanted to play with. So keeping their toys eye level and accessible, and just really keeping it, child led is really at the base of our play.
What have you learned through your life experiences about the importance of play for children when it comes to their mental health, their growth, and their education?
I have learned more about play than you could probably even begin to think about, because
2-hour special.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But it's the world of play is just, it's never ending. And it's crazy to think about, because before I was a mom, I knew play was important, but I didn't know how important it was. But really diving into it, at the age that we're catering to, 0 to 5, there's just so much going on when it comes to their development. And they're just learning so much. And I think a lot of people try to complicate learning when really sit them down and just let them play. And they learn so much on their own, just exploring their own environment and just interacting with different kids. And, they learn social skills, they learn patience, they learn, attending skills all through play. And it's really insane.
It is. And I've said this on this podcast so many times, but I feel like becoming a parent made me better at my job. It just kind of unlocked something in me where I was like, oh, wait, I didn't even know that box was there to be opened. And I feel like I just kind of started to see things differently and think differently. Did you find that with your daughter that kind of happened with you, with your education and your plans for the future?
100%. I would say that having a child of my own has made me so much better in every aspect of my life, especially, now being a business owner. Just because, excuse me, when you have a child of your own, it really just unlocks, like you said, a piece of you that you didn't even know was missing. Yeah. And then you have them and you're like, that's what it is. But of course, I always knew that I was a great, behavior analyst. I never doubted that I was good at my job.
Right.
But having a daughter just really, or just having a child in general, it works on those soft skills that just can't be taught. And I thought I was soft before when it came to the little ones, but now just having my own child, it just really opens your eyes that, this is somebody's child as well. So I will say I did learn a lot more as far as education, but the soft skills is where it really helped me, being a mom myself. So it's just something that you can't teach, and you just learn it having your own little one.
Yeah, it just is. It's something that just happens, and you can't help it.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that it does unlock that in all of us.
Yes.
I think it's really a special thing. On the other side of the break, we're going to talk a lot more about Little Bean Play Cafe, where people can go and what they can find whenever they get there. So please stay with Brianna and me. We will be right back. Welcome back to Parenting Unscripted. Joining us once again is Ms. Brianna Platt. We are talking all about the Little Bean Play Cafe that just opened in Chesapeake, that Brianna came up with this idea. And I know that you say that there are other play cafes around the world, so you're not saying, hey, I came up with this all by myself. I just think it's so amazing that you did it with a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
That's brave.
Yeah.
That's really
To say the
incredible. Why did you feel like this was something that parents really needed?
Yeah, honestly, I did it because this is something that I needed. Not just because other parents needed it, but just because of the fact that, in the newborn phase, I was in the thick of it. And I'm not ashamed to say it. I really struggled during postpartum. And that's kind of when I noticed, like, there's not much. There's not much for little ones. Under the age of 5, we have the trampoline parks and the bowling alleys for the older kiddos, but there's not a lot that you can really do with your little one when you're in those trenches of, being a new parent or just being a parent in general. So I really wanted something that I, in the moment I needed, and I didn't see it in my community. So I wanted to make it happen for, the moms who came after me, or the people who came after me.
Right.
Yeah.
So for parents to come to Little Bean, obviously that, it's a great place for the kids to play, but it's also sounds like it's a really wonderful place for parents to be able to connect while their kids are connecting, right?
Yes, exactly.
In what way? Like, what are your hopes when parents walk through the door? What will they be able to feel, and what are you hoping for them?
I want them to feel at home. I want them to have a home away from home when home just feels unbearable or overwhelming. I want them to have a place where they can come and just grab a cup of coffee, and whether they want to sit by themselves or they want to, find other connections, I want them to have the option is what I want for them. I don't want them to feel alone, because I know parenthood could feel lonely.
Right.
I mean, there's millions of thousands of other parents around the world, but it still feels lonely at times.
It can.
So I just want them to have a place where they feel that they can come and really, build their village and have a community.
I think that's such a beautiful thing. I know, from my own experience, when I was on maternity leave and my husband went back to work and my parents had gone back to Pennsylvania and my husband's parents work, all of a sudden I'm home alone with a newborn who can't speak, and I'm obviously a talker. Right. I was like, I don't have anyone to talk to. Everybody's at work. And sometimes you really need that social cup filled, but you're still recovering from giving birth. You're exhausted, and it's like, what can I do?
Exactly.
And it sounds like Little Bean would be a place that I could go to in my sweats and grab a cup of coffee, and I don't have to do myself up.
Yes, please come in your sweats, because I was that mom too. I was the mom in the newborn trenches trying to recover from a C-section. My husband went back to work. And like you said, it feels like everybody's life just continues, and your life is kind of like in between of being on pause, but also on fast forward. Right?
Yeah.
It's this kind of in between space. And like I said, it feels like you're all alone, but you're not. There's other people right next door probably that are going through the same thing, and you just don't know. But I know when I was trying to get out with my little one, I tried to go to a coffee shop, and I got the nastiest stares. Like, people don't expect little ones to be out in the world. And that was my first experience coming out with my little one by myself as a new mom. And that really kept me back in the house for a little while.
My heart.
Yeah. So I just wanted a space where moms can come and or parents, anybody can come and just feel comfortable.
Yeah, I always feel like I'm that weirdo when I see a new mom with their new baby and they're out. I'm like, you're doing a great job.
Yeah.
Or I look at them and I smile and they're probably like, she's so creepy.
No, you're doing great, sweetie.
You're doing so well. I remember it. All right. So where can people find more information about Little Bean Play Cafe?
Yeah, so you can definitely find us on social media. We are really big on social media right now. You can find us on Instagram at Little Bean Play Cafe VA. You can also find us, of course, on the web at littlebeanplaycafe.com, where you can find all of our information about who we are and, you know, how to get your play passes and come see us.
And you also have great opportunities for events. What kind of events can people have there?
Yes. So this is another thing that I really envisioned when I was, you know, creating Little Bean is, of course, I want to have events that are child focused. You know, we'll have our art and, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to have events that were community focused and really provide information to make parents feel equipped to
Yes.
to take on this new journey. So we'll be, you know, having lactation consultants and mental health specialists and child coaches, all of that good stuff. So we're not just, you know, having those fun classes for the little ones to keep them busy and keep them social, but we're also having these important events for the parents and the people who are, you know, we want to make sure that the ones who are loving on the little ones are also loved on. So we are, you know, really making sure we're taking the time to have these professional workshops to equip them with the information and the tools that they need to thrive.
Yeah, I think that's a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
Of course, too, this is a cafe. So what's on the menu?
Oh, what is on the menu? So our menu will be rotating seasonally. We'll have our staples, of course. We'll have our staple cookies and cinnamon rolls, but then we'll also have those really exciting treats around the holidays and seasonal treats that you can look forward to as well. As far as our coffee, we did have the ability to partner up with a local roastery. So we're working with Pinup Coffee Co. And they make the most amazing coffee I've ever had. And I'm not just saying that because we're partners.
Right.
That's why I partnered with them.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, we have amazing coffee and amazing food. And the menu will be rotating to keep you guys on your toes and keep you coming back.
Great. That sounds like a win-win.
Yes.
Bree, what do you hope that your daughter gets from watching you open this business? You were a stay-at-home mom. You've opened your own business. And you are still just rocking it as a mom. What do you hope she learns from you?
I hope she learns drive and determination. And I hope she learns that literally anything is possible with God. Because if it was up to my own strength, I truthfully would have given up a long time ago. It's a lot being a mom and trying to open a business. And I'm working 3 other jobs outside of trying to open this business. So it's a lot. But I want her to be able to see that you can follow your dreams and your dreams can change. You don't have to, you know, you don't have to stick to one thing. I worked years, you know, getting the education that I have and getting the credentials that I have. Yeah. And just because I worked so long to reach that goal doesn't mean that it was all for nothing. I can do something else and still be a great mom and a great wife. And it doesn't make me any less than, you know, changing my dreams and going over after something else. So,
well, and look at what you've done. You've tied everything that you've done together into one really great thing to help other parents out there. I really think that that is a great thing that you're doing. And I thank you so much for being on the show today. I know I asked you out of the blue, just randomly popping up to you on social media, but you do have a great social media page, so I'm glad that you're so responsive, and I know you will be to all your customers as well.
Yes, of course.
So again, thank you. We certainly appreciate you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And thank you all for joining us for this episode of Parenting Unscripted. Remember, you can catch new episodes every Tuesday starting at 9 o'clock in the morning. And again, a big thank you to Norfolk Public Schools for sponsoring this episode. I hope you all have a great day. Be good.